Screen always confuses me. Right, let's make a start. Hello, everybody. It's nice to have you with us. Stick yourself on mute unless you want to talk. My name is Tom Spate. I work for the Cumbria Arts and Culture Network, and I'm going to chair this call. We're going to finish at 12 at the very latest. We may finish a bit before then. And the point of this call is to explain what See It to Be It is all about, and also to give you a chance to ask any questions about See It to Be It as well. You've probably seen a bit of publicity about See It to Be It already. But we thought it would be a good chance to have a couple of sessions online, because we've got another one in a few days' time, to help give people a chance to have a two-way conversation about it. We are recording this call, so we'll probably stick this up onto the CACN website once this is over, so that people that can't join either of the calls but want to find out about it can also find out about it by watching a recording. We're just going to quickly whiz around so that everyone can say who they are and what they do, and that's literally all I want you to do, is just say who you are and what you do. It's going to take about 3 seconds each, and I'm just going to call it out as I see you on my windows. Okay, so be ready to go. We're going to start with Celia.
Hi, I am Celia, and I'm an artist and community artist and sometimes a painter.
Thank you. Becca.
Hi, I'm Becca, and I'm heading up the Carnegie Theatre and Arts Centre over in Workington for the next year or so.
Thank you. Caroline.
I'm a newly qualified teacher, and I'm continuing my studies because I would like to incorporate arts more into education.
Thank you. Pete.
I'm Pete. I'm here in my capacity as a former spoken word and poetry producer.
Thank you. Stefan.
I'm Stefan Escree, and I run Ragged Edge Productions. We do stuff.
Very good stuff. Thank you. Barbara.
My links will be with dance and writing.
Thank you. Verity.
Hi, I'm Verity, and I work for Historic England.
Thank you. Emma.
Hi, I'm Emma Rydell. I'm an actor and writer, and I run the theatre company La Mara Productions.
Thank you. Catherine.
Hi, I'm Catherine. I'm like an actor, writer, theatre person who likes, I also do like a lot of work with young people, which I really enjoy.
Thank you. Faye.
Hi, I'm Faye. I'm the manager and curator at the Armit in Ambleside.
Thank you. Joe.
Hi, I'm Jo Riley. I work for Art Gene. We're a delivery partner.
In Barrow. Sophie.
Hi, I'm Sophie, freelance artist and producer, and looking to do more stuff for young people. So yeah, good.
You're in the right place. Thank you. Amy.
Hi, I'm the head of producing and programming at Theatre by the Lake.
Thank you. David.
Hi, good morning, everybody. I'm current chair of the Cumbria Community Foundation.
Thank you, David. Catherine. Catherine's already she's moved on my thing. Paige, can you tell us who you are?
Paige has said in chat, no mic on here, but I'm Paige. I'm a freelance dance artist.
Thank you. Emma Hayes runs the Kirkgate Centre in Cockermouth.
And also has no mic and video.
Does Sarah have a mic?
Tom, I have a mic. Just no video today. I've got a room full of people. So I'm Sarah, and I'm the learning manager at Tully in Carlisle.
Fantastic. Thank you, everybody, for being succinct and concise in your answers. Right, that's who we are, and you are the right people at the right meeting at the right time. So that's very good news already. Right, let's just introduce quickly the Cumbria Arts and Culture Network team who are going to run this project for you and for us and for the county. So let's start with Kate Parry.
Hello, I am Kate. I am director of CACN and acting, I guess, as project manager for the whole thing.
You did the application form, right? Largely.
I did, but it was a team effort. Let's be honest.
Right. Let's speak to your fellow team member, Chris Bridgman, who I think helped you to do that form. So, Chris, hello.
Hello. Yes, I did that. My title at CACN is a development producer, so I help develop, but also help deliver things like training and mentoring, and certainly be doing some of that within SITB.
Thank you very much indeed. Oh, is that what we're calling it now? SITB?
I don't know. That's what that's the abbreviation.
Okay, could go down that road. Emily, hello. You are a quite more recent member of the CACN team. Tell us a bit about what you do and what your role will be as far as this project is concerned.
So I'm Emily. I am an accountant by trade, but I started with CACN to do like sort of finance work, and now I'm in the email inbox basically a lot of the time now. So I'm just sort of background admin, assisting with anything, meetings, setups, things like that.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Emily. And I am Tom Spate, and I basically do the Friday calls every week. I make the podcast. There's a new one out about Tully that's just come out this week. And I also organise the big meets. There's one coming up in Barrow in about 2 weeks' time. And for See It to Be It in particular, I'll be doing the comms and trying to keep everybody engaged with the project by doing interesting things and also helping oversee some of the social media that we will be commencing, that we've already started really, as far as See It to Be It is concerned as well. And Kate, Amy is often on these calls and part of CACN. She's taking some time out at the moment, isn't she?
Yeah, Amy hasn't been so well, so she is taking time off to get better, which we all want her to do. But she's still around, but she needs a break, and so needless to say, we've given her one. She's taken one. And we'll keep you posted. But Emily has stepped up to do more, and this is partly why we are recruiting producers at the moment. More of that later.
Okay, thank you, Kate. Right, the next half hour or so is going to be mainly Kate talking to you to explain what See It to Be It is, and then a chance for you to ask any questions. And then when we get towards the end of the call, ways for you to get involved and how we'd love you to get involved as well, and where we go from there. So that is the plan. There's going to be a little bit of screen sharing going on with 1 or 2 slides. But we wanted to make sure that you've got a really good grasp of what the project is all about, and then had a chance to ask any questions about it as well. So Kate's going to be doing most of the talking for the next 25 minutes or so. So Kate, let me ask you first of all, what is See It to Be It?
See It to Be It is a 2.5-year project funded largely by Arts Council England, but also by both Cumberland and Westmoreland and Furness councils. That is designed to enable and support more young people in Cumbria to pursue and build viable creative careers. That's the short answer.
Okay.
I'll talk a little bit, first of all, I think, about why it's needed and why Arts Council have invested in us pretty heavily. When I say pretty heavily, we have succeeded in applying for £175,000 of Arts Council Place Partnership funding, which sounds like a massive amount, and it is by CACN standards, given that we're only teeny tiny. But bearing in mind that this is a county-wide project, it's a partnership project, it's over 2.5 years, we are going to be delivering a huge amount. That money is going to be very quickly spent. So why is it needed? It is born of a very clear understanding gained over the last few years, I would say since COVID, of how difficult it is for young people in Cumbria to actually build a career in the creative industries that is viable and valued. We know how intense the pull of industry is in this county, especially down the west coast, and we hear from the young people that we do know and work with how difficult it is just to piece together a career that actually enables them to make ends meet and achieve what they want to do here in Cumbria. We've pieced that together through a whole range of consultations and surveys and discussions. There are a whole raft of reasons and problems and issues that have come out of that. The main things to say is that it's clear that many young people feel that they have to leave Cumbria to pursue their career as a creative. That young people feel that opportunities that do exist, they can't get to, or there just aren't enough opportunities at all. Some people, young people, don't feel welcome to apply for the ones that do exist, or they don't have the skills to or experience to apply for the roles that come up, or the opportunities, the commissions, whatever. They can't get the skills that they need locally because the courses aren't there. And that is leading to a vicious circle, which means ultimately that young people leave, but it also means that organisations across Cumbria are struggling to recruit skilled young people. That's not because the enthusiasm's not there, it's just organisations genuinely, and in particular technical roles, but many roles, organisations are struggling to fill. And that's creating a vicious circle because those organisations are then not able to deliver programmes that would provide more opportunities for young people. And so the problems go on. So what we're trying to do is stop that vicious circle. Now, we're not going to solve all of the issues over 2.5 years with £175,000. So we've been very specific about what we are going to do, and we will come on to that. But when you get Arts Council Place Partnership funding, it's all about making a step change. And our step change is about bringing organisations together across the county to work together, to coordinate themselves, ourselves, and to start to address the issues. And we'll explain how that's going to happen. But before I do that, Tom, could you just show us the little graphs that we've pulled together as part of our application that illustrate the issues that we pulled out of surveys with young people? So we asked young people, young creatives, right now, what gets in the way of you developing a career here? And you can see that financial insecurity is by far the biggest problem, a feeling that they're just not going to be able to earn enough money. And against the backdrop of very secure careers in the nuclear and defence industries, that is the biggest problem. Lack of opportunities and lack of work experience came across as the other issues. There were lots of others, but those are the broad sort of headings. Next. This is the sort of support that young people said they wanted. Interestingly, obviously, money, support to help them progress, but also backing of a community where they could get the support that they needed. Mentoring was a big one, more job opportunities and more events that would help them to get the skills and experience that they need to access the opportunities that are there. And the final one. So we asked young people whether they wanted to leave or wanted to stay to build their career in the creative industries. And what it boils down to is that basically at least half of those young people we spoke to actually want to stay. Only a quarter definitely want to leave. So the assumption that young people definitely want to leave Cumbria is not right, but we need to make it possible for young people to stay here if they want to, or if they can't leave for one reason or another, and to be able to build those careers. We especially want to make it possible for those young people who face the greatest challenges and barriers, whatever they may be. Okay, so that's why we have got the money to run See It to Be It. I will stop talking in a little while and pause for questions, so do note any, but for now I just want to explain a bit more about what it actually is. So if you could pull up the next set of slides, Tom, thank you very much. Okay, See It to Be It. What actually is it all about? Next slide, please, Tom. So the main aims, the delivery partners, who are we working with first of all? Well, it's a big project with over 30 partners. It's one that grew and grew, and it grew because we seem to tap into a seam of enthusiasm and understanding that this is very much a shared issue. So this group of organisations are those who are for who this is closest to their heart, if you like, and they have the capacity and the willingness to step up and be the core of our delivery partners who make up the project team. You'll see that it's a mixture of cultural organisations, but also the university as well. And the Centre for Leadership Performance, who some of you will know, support young people to build their careers and grow aspirations, particularly in West Cumbria, but all over the county. Next slide, please. I'm just going to let you look at this rather fancy diagram, which shows you the big picture that we have created, the structure for the project. I'll explain about it in a minute. In essence, the organisations listed in blue are those organisations that are already delivering programmes that support young creatives in one way, shape or form, whether they're a local authority, a cultural organisation, or an FE college or a careers advice provider. The dark blue circle in the middle, those are the organisations that just featured on the last slide that make up the project team. The pink, if you like, is the wider culture sector in Cumbria, and the yellow is the bigger national picture. And the reason that's there is that we know that many of the national organisations that are running fantastic programmes for young people often don't attract the applicants from Cumbria, and that's part of the issue that we're trying to address. The organisations in bold are in priority places, Arts Council priority places, so either in Copeland or in Barrow. And please bear in mind that this fancy diagram was put together for the benefit of the application, so it's not especially pretty for other purposes. Okay. If we just move on to...
You want to just mention, Kate, yeah, the white double arrow graphics and also the light green circles as well.
Beg your pardon. Yeah, thank you. So the arrows that I've put on here are designed to show that we think this is an issue and a project that should and can involve everyone throughout the Cumbrian culture sector in one way, shape or form. And the levels of involvement can vary. They can be really, really light touch, where you're just sharing the opportunities or contributing to the conversation, or they can be much more considerable, like those organisations currently in the dark blue circle. You'll see that some of the lines are dotted, and that's because we know that circumstances change through the life of a 2.5-year project, so we expect those organisations to shuffle around a little bit within the circles, depending on what their circumstances are. But this needs to be a project that's based on realism, and it needs to be one that accounts for the fact that different organisations have different levels of capacity and different people, different individuals, you know, have encounter things that mean that they can at some point contribute and others points can't. The green circle that says Youth Advisory Group, that's really, really important, because this project can't go ahead, it can't proceed without being really clearly shaped by young people. So one of our very early steps will be to pick up the work that we have done so far with young people and shape that into a Youth Advisory Group. And we have organisations on this list, and indeed individuals who are specialists in creating that kind of arrangement. The Children's Jury is part of the Everyone Here work in West Cumbria. I'm not going to say too much about that now because that's work in progress and for the future. But let's go to the next slide then, please, Tom, and we'll talk about what it is that the project consists of. Essentially, there are 3 strands of work, 3 aims, and we want to be really clear about this because the potential to drift away from what we have said we will do with the money is vast, because the problem is vast and the number of partners is vast. So we want to sort of manage expectations and be very clear from the outset. The first aim is that we want to connect up all the existing work that's already going on across the sector and across the county to support young creatives, because we're not pretending that there isn't already good work going on. There really, really is. In fact, most of the organisations on that list And many of the smaller ones that don't figure individually are already trying to support young creatives into careers. What we want to do is join it up and shout about it from the rooftops underneath the See It to Be It banner, so that young people know where to go if they want to follow a creative pathway. And the sorts of activity that will come under that is the creation of a new, for example, website that will act as a hub where there'll be real case studies of people working in creative careers in Cumbria, where all the opportunities that we're generating and that already exist will be locatable. And the other thing that we'll be doing as part of this aim is talking to the organisations and saying, okay, where in particular, where are you struggling to recruit? What do we need to deliver in terms of training and support that will help address the gaps and adopt a sort of grow our own approach to the career pathway and workforce in Cumbria. That's the first aim, connecting up existing. The second aim, Tom, is about raising awareness of creative careers in education settings. We know that industry of one kind or another dominates careers programs that currently exist, and there are many really good careers programs out there. What we want to do is piggyback those existing programs with the full permission and support of the organisations running them, like Cumbria Careers Hub and the Centre for Leadership Performance and Inspira, and make sure that the creative careers are better represented so that young people actually get to see what we mean by a creative career and the range of opportunities that are actually out there. And when we talk about creative careers, we mean everything from visual artists to sound technicians to project managers, administrators, and all the jobs that, you know, those of us sitting on this call are doing. As part of that work, one of the things that we will be doing is working with the Centre for Leadership Performance to train and support creatives and pay creatives, people like you, to be going into schools and education settings to take part in existing careers programs. Because one of the problems that actually is at the root of this whole project is the fact that far too often creatives are asked to do stuff for nothing. They're asked to go and be part of careers events. And when we ask, is there money to pay them to be part of that? The answer has been no. So one of the things that we want to do is be able to pay you, creative practitioners, to be part of the existing programs and to make it more visible for young people in Cumbria. There's a lot more to the second aim than that, but that's the headlines. The third aim, which is actually the biggest of the three, is about providing more opportunities in response to those graphs that we showed you, more opportunities for young people to be able to construct their career bit by bit, step by step here in Cumbria if they want to. And when we have planned the budget, actually the weight of the budget is firmly towards the third aim, because we want to be able to create more paid opportunities, in particular for young people. And within this strand, we mean all the things that will help young people, whether that's more information, whether it's signposting, it's networking, building contacts, training specifically tailored to their needs, it's mentoring, skill swaps, it's the central website hub, it's podcasts that feature and involve young people, it's a creatives database. But in particular, it's working with our delivery partners for them to run and deliver programs that actually create more opportunities for young people. So that is micro residencies, placements, fellowships, commissions, showcase exhibitions, events, specific networks for different types of creatives, commissions and visits to places. So there's a huge amount packed into Aim 3. I should say, in addition to what is being funded specifically through the See It to Be It programme, i.e. via the local authorities and Arts Council, all of the organisations that are currently in the partnership are going to bring their activity into the picture. So a lot of the activity will be already being delivered in kind, but it's going to be sort of scooped up into the See It to Be It programme so that young people can find it and access it readily. So that is the third aim. I'm just going to quickly summarise what See It to Be It looks like in numbers, please, Tom. And then I'm going to stop talking for a bit. So yeah, the total project cost, £350,000. We're going to create 60 new opportunities for young creatives to showcase their art. And when we say that, we mean across all disciplines. We want to signpost at least 800 young creatives by getting ourselves to careers events, whether that's in colleges, at the university, and in schools. We're going to get out there to represent the sector as best we can. We want to mentor at least 20 young people, at least 60 training and development sessions, and so on and so forth. Those are the headlines. There's a lot more detailed data below the surface, but that is essentially what it looks like. I hope I haven't garbled on too much and that makes some kind of sense. But Tom, do you want to stop sharing and see if there's maybe any questions at this point?
Anyone got anything they want to chuck into the pile? Is it just? I think there's 3 more slides to come. All clear so far? Verity.
Hi, sorry, I couldn't find my Zoom hand. What ages count as young?
Good question.
Very good question, and I need to get into the habit of saying that early on. Thank you. We really mean secondary school age through to 30, because that's how long it realistically takes. We can't pretend that by 23, young creatives are all sorted and can be cast adrift. And even frankly by 30, it's not a given, is it? So in fact, I would go as far as to say that some of the activity, especially through for example, the primary business partnerships through the Centre for Leadership Performance, that is about primary schools. That's about getting into primary schools and starting the conversation early. One of the pieces of evidence that we found, thanks to the Cumbria Careers Hub, was that when in their future skills questionnaire that they conduct, year 7s reported that the highest proportion of children asked in year 7, when asked about what career they wanted, the highest proportion wanted a creative career. When you get to year 11, in fact, when you get to year 9, they've already massively switched towards industry and engineering. And when you get to year 11, it's hugely, significantly biased towards engineering and industry. I say biased, that's not the right word. That is where young people are heading in this part of the world. So we want to get in there early to start the conversation and explain what a wide range of opportunities there are. But we also want to be realistic and make it clear that not everybody can be a visual artist and make it work. We have to be realistic about what's out there, but we also have to make sure that young people can access the things that we create. So it's a complicated situation and a big picture.
Thanks, Verity. Good question. Anyone else at
I
this
think,
stage?
Tom, I think it would be useful to get that out in the comms a bit more, what our working definition is.
Yep.
I think it's just a useful thing for people to know what the parameters are.
Yeah. Thanks, Joe.
What's been the reaction, Kate, so far to this project? And how, did the Arts Council give it a green light nice and early, easily, or
Well, everybody here will appreciate that it's not easy to wrestle that much money from Arts Council, but they have been very supportive and they do regard it as a really strong project. And we're really grateful for their enthusiasm. Both the same can be said for both Cumberland and Westmoreland and Furness Council. The reaction's really good and really clear. It feels as though everybody understands why this is necessary and people want to get behind it. And since we got the money and went live with the sort of comms, we've been approached by lots of other organisations wanting to be part of the picture in one way, shape or form, and it's still absolutely the case that there is a role for more than those organisations currently listed on the diagrams, and that's a little bit what we can talk about in a minute. The door is not closed, but at the same time, this has to be manageable as a project, and we have to be realistic about what we can achieve.
Okay. Should we return to the bit where people get a chance to think about how they can get involved?
Yeah, we're going to talk a little bit about next steps in the work that we're currently doing to move the project along. So if you could just go back to that slide. So this is what we are currently doing, the CACN team. There's more on the list than this, but these again are the headlines. We are recruiting. Hurrah! It's wonderful to be able to recruit with the certainty that that money is in place. In particular, we're recruiting for a trainee producer, and maybe there's too much switching backwards and forwards, Tom, but we can show you where to find that information on the CACN website. If you know young people who might want to work with the CACN team, we are looking for a trainee producer to work as part of the CACN freelance team to gain experience. Then we're going to create 3 6-month placements. And it's partly about supporting the project, but it's also about equipping them with experience and skills that they might need to go on and develop a career. So please do share this now. Do you want to just quickly open up the CHB website, Tom, on the left-hand side?
Yeah. Does that come up?
Yeah, this is our holding website, designed by Scratch Creative. You just scroll down, you can see that it's people can hop on here and find out a bit more information, the sorts of which I've just talked about. And here is a lovely quote from Mac Benson, one of the young people that we've been working with from Queer Cumbria. Young people in Cumbria deserve to see that a creative career is not only possible, but valued. And down here, the 3 different strands of work that we're going to be addressing. But this is the holding site, and what we create from here will have a lot more information on it and all the opportunities that we are generating, but collectively. So back to the CACN website, and if you could just click on we're recruiting producers. We're using the word producers in the broadest sense. Here is this trainee producer role that we are looking for somebody at the start of their career to help us and also to gain experience. And then if you could scroll down a little bit more, we're also looking for producers to work with the CACN team to deliver all of our programme. If there's any one person here who can deliver everything on that list below, then we'd love to hear from them. But actually, we'd love to hear from anybody who can do any of those things. Because we are likely to be taking on perhaps 2 or 3 people to support everything that CACN is doing, because although this is our biggest piece of work, it's not the only thing we're working on. Back to the presentation, because I can't remember what else we're working on without the list being in front of me. Thank you. Like I said earlier, the next most important thing, very much central to what the next steps are, is to establish the youth advisory group. We'll be working with the delivery partners to set that up. And we'll be going live with the call for participants for that quite soon. We are already starting to map existing activity county-wide, and we're asking all our partners to tell us what they're already doing and to tell us when that's happening, because part of what we're trying to do is establish what is the big picture, what's already happening, where are the cold spots, where are the cold times of year where there's nothing happening, so that we want to get to a point where young creatives can feel that they've got one opportunity and then another and then another. They're not coming all at once. They're not all at one side of the county, so that we get a better spread and a better representation. We're developing the central website hub. We're planning our attendance at careers events now, and that will start in the next few weeks for us to be actually getting out there and talking to more young people in schools, FE colleges and the university about what we mean by creative careers. We're starting to piece together the training and mentoring programs, and we will be going live to recruit the first cohort of mentees in the next month or so. So that's what we're busy with. We'll finish now. Gosh, that's incredible. We're actually on time. Just to say a little bit about how you could get involved, we are completely open to more conversations, but the reason we created these information sessions was that we're getting asked by a lot of people, we want to be involved, we want to help, we want to be part of it. So these are the things you can do right now if you would like to support the project. Please talk to the young creatives you know about the project. Like and share the comms that's coming out. Follow us, obviously, if you don't already, on our social media platform. Tell us about your opportunities. If you run an organisation, a micro organisation or a big organisation, please, please, please feed us the opportunities that you are creating so that we can start to bring those under the See It to Be It banner on our central website and elsewhere. If you know about a careers event that's coming up in an education setting near you, tell us, because we would like to organise ourselves to be there. And very simply, please use the hashtag See It to Be It Cumbria at every opportunity. There are other ways that you can be involved, and if you're running an organisation and you feel you really should be part of this in a more substantive way, please just drop us an email. There is one more slide, I think. Well, you can drop us a line, and we can have a bigger conversation with you. This is still work in progress, and we're open to conversations, ideas, and comments as of right now, in fact. So if anybody's got any questions that they want to ask, we're very happy to hear them. All comments.
Thank you, Kate. Yeah, reaction, make it better, be critical friends, all that stuff, as well as if you don't understand something that Kate's been talking about. Stefan's just come off mute. Does that mean he's got a question or a comment?
Oh no, I leant on the button, but I do have, I should say I'm on the steering group for CACN, so I'm meant to know a lot about this, but that's been really useful to have that distilled. Thank you so much. I think it's terrifically exciting. One thing I wanted to ask, and again, forgive me if I should know this, I wondered if there was any shared learning to be had from other parts of the country or other countries, and indeed shared resources in case other folk are up to similar things. And I forgive me if we've talked about this, but I don't know if you're aware about anything that might be going on elsewhere.
Well, there are definitely initiatives right across the county, because although we have specific challenges around rurality and access and transport and that sort of thing, this is a nationwide issue. And Discover Creative Careers, for example, is the nationwide programme that we can tap into that is set up purely to address this. And in fact, November is Discover Creative Careers Month. You might remember last November we met as a big meet at the university. That was Discover Creative Careers Week, and perhaps it's a measure of what an issue this is, that it's now grown to Discover Creative Careers Month. So we will be looking to do something. I'm not quite sure what yet as part of that programme, but we can turn to them at any point for their support. And I'm already in touch with them. But there are other place partnership programmes elsewhere in the country that are tackling the same issue. There's one on the south coast, I think Brighton and Eastbourne. So maybe I need a trip to the south coast to talk to some folk down there. But I did speak to them when we were putting the application together. But the idea of a place partnership is that it responds very specifically to the challenges in your location. So although we can learn from other people, and we must, I think we need to also stay focused on what it's like in Cumbria, and the fact that Cumbria is different from one side to the next. You know, the issues in Barrow are not the same as the issues in Eden, and that's a big enough challenge. But yeah, Arts Council are helpful in sending people our way who they think we might be able to learn from as well. So, but obviously, if anybody here's got any other suggestions as to work that's going on elsewhere, within the boundaries of our capacity, we will always try and listen and learn.
I think it's fair to say one of the reasons that this is taking place is, you know, Cumbria is full of small organisations that don't have the capacity or the time or the resourcing to think of stuff like this, because there just isn't enough time or hours in the day. So if we can knit that together, that's partly what CACN is put on the planet to do. And this is absolutely the right role for us. But obviously, in the wider context of what Stefan's just alluded to, we're just one county, the second biggest county, I think, in the country. And if there's some learnings from other places that we can, or I suspect what will happen if this is a success, especially because of the Arts Council's interest and, you know, being a major stakeholder in this, is they will get us to kind of tell other people about what we've done, actually. But we'll see. We've got to get it right first of all. But I wouldn't be surprised if in a couple of years' time we weren't asked to share how we did this. That's my best guess. Thank you for your comment, Becca. This is really exciting, very much needed for Cumbria. Thank you for all the work done to make this project happen. David, have you half got your hand up?
Yeah, I've half got my hand up. It was just a few. I mean, I would talk to you separately, but it's a few random thoughts that came to mind. First of all, this is fabulous. I mean, it's really great. So well done for you all for pulling it together and taking this initiative. One of my other roles is chair of the Cumbria Economic Growth Board. We recognise in the economic strategy that we need to retain more young people. And we consulted with young people, and one of the things they were calling for was more arts and culture in Cumbria to attract young people to stay in Cumbria, not just leave, which sort of Kate referred to a bit earlier. So this is integral to the future of Cumbria, not just the future of arts in Cumbria, because I think it's very, very, very important. I did wonder, just with a few other hats on, you know, I do a lot of work with youth work and young people, and whether there is a route through to promoting some of this through youth clubs. So there might be I don't know whether you've talked to Cumbria Youth Alliance, for example, but that might be somebody to talk to. Obviously, in the Careers Hub, part of Economic Growth Board is Enterprise in Cumbria. You know, let me know if there's stuff we can help with in the Careers Hub. But there's a very active Careers Hub, as you know, going on, and we're trying to do the best we can with that. And I thought one just great example. I mean, I went a few weeks ago to the John Peel Theatre in Wigton. Fantastic, enthusiastic. I met 3 young men who now have careers in sound engineers, all of whom started off as helping out with sound at the John Peel Theatre. That's the sort of thing that we can, I just think it's a great example of creating career opportunity through, if you like, voluntary, enthusiastic people making things happen, and which has led to careers for 3 young men, all now working in that profession. So, and so as you said, Kate, it's a you know, we're a large county. We are the second largest county. We're the least populated county. I always like to say that we're half the landmass of the northwest of England, and we're less than 7% of the population. So that is part of the challenge in this process as well. But fantastic, and good luck is all I can say. And I'm going to have to bail out very shortly because I'm due at a meeting. So
no, thank you for being with us, David. It's worth just stressing that Cumbria Careers Hub have been brilliant, and Kath Dutton. I've met many times with Kath, and they are officially a partner in this, and there are loads of ways in which we can dovetail with the programs and piggyback is in the nicest possible way.
Absolutely
what they're doing. So Thank you.
No, that's sorry. Just Joe's. That's good. David, can you see chat, David?
I can if I look for it. Sorry, I'm on my phone.
Well, I'll tell you, Joe's just put there, would be good to get David's permission for an official affiliated quote for the website. That is, in inverted commas, this is integral to the future of Cumbria, not just to the arts in Cumbria. Can we use that?
Yep.
Great. Done. Thank you, Joe.
It's always good to have Joe on the call. She never misses a trick.
Sophie's got her hand up.
I just had a quick question about what this project's possibility about making careers for young people that aren't temporary contracts, because that seems to be, I mean, that's just a general art issue as it is, but it might be a bit too early to say if there's any possibility of this project bringing in contracts that are, I know because it relies on a lot on funding bids, which, you know, makes things a bit, you know, it's come and go. If there's any sort of potential for that as to make full-time, not like like part-time contracts, but possibly ones that are more permanent, or
yeah,
just whether
It's a
that was
good
possibility
point.
or not. Yeah,
It's a good point, Sophie, but I guess because this is a project that we're delivering, it is therefore time bound, so we can't create ourselves, but we can, you know, some organisations can, and it's very much the ambition that there should be more of those. And I don't want us to make matters worse by just creating short-term opportunities that give people expectations which then can't be met. So it is a complicated picture. But the fact is there are many organisations out there recruiting and who are struggling to fill those gaps. And what we're trying to do is equip more young people with the experience and skills to go and fill them.
I see. Yeah.
So it's wrong. No, I'm not saying this is what you're saying, but there is a perception that there are no opportunities out there. Look at the CACN website on a weekly basis. You can see that there are opportunities. It's just that organisations are often struggling to fill them. And that's the vicious circle that we've got to try and break. It won't happen overnight, and it may not. You know, I don't pretend that we can wave a magic wand at it.
Oh no, I don't expect to do everything. No, God no.
The step change we're trying to make is that organisations work together with individual creatives to address the issue and keep addressing the issue beyond the life of this project. I just wanted to stress one more time that this project is not all about organisations. It is also about individual creatives, and it's about paying creatives to help us as organisations tackle the problem and get the sector better represented in careers programmes. So those opportunities will come on stream in the next couple of months. So if that's something you're interested in doing, being part of our presence, you know, we really want to hear from you. And I want the days of your being asked to do things for nothing to come to an end. Not overnight, but it's something that we feel really strongly about and is a core principle of the project.
Thanks, Sophie. Any other questions before we come to a conclusion? Faye.
Hello. More sort of comment than question again, but I just echo everybody else's comments. I think it's a really wonderful opportunity for the county, for individuals, organisations. So I hope it does go well. But funnily enough, at the Armits, we've actually just had 2 new volunteers start who are young people in the matter of the last month. And both of them have creative backgrounds, creative wants and needs to stay in Cumbria. One that is Cumbria born, bred, and has come back after studying, and one that has moved into the area. So is the project related to people who are Cumbria born and bred, or people who just live in Cumbria now? I imagine it will be the latter. But I will definitely be signposting to these 2 individuals the opportunities that you've got on board for producer opportunities already.
Yeah.
But I also wonder that will there be, as part of this, sort of opportunities that I could signpost to them for sort of further training, further development for them that might not necessarily be related to us as the Armit as an organisation, but just might help further them for what they want to go on and do. So, for example, one of them's very keen on photography and the other one's very keen on illustration.
Yeah, absolutely. We need time to get organised and roll these things out, and we need to do that in a way that is responsive to need. So we've got to get that right. Absolutely, there is a mentoring program coming. There will be training opportunities, and there will be specific sort of networking opportunities for young people. There's also the youth advisory group that, you know, this is the sort of role that you sitting here can do. If you know young people, as you say, Faye, when we go live with our call for participants for the youth advisory group, that's the sort of person we want to hear from. So yes to all of that, and the success of this project will, to some extent, well, will actually depend entirely on our ability to cut through and reach people, and that's what you can help with.
Great.
Celia.
Thanks, Faye. Celia, yeah.
Oh yeah, I just had a thought. When the doesn't happen often. Yeah. The youth advisory group might be actually one of the ways that sometimes with these kind of programs, the unknown is where the good stuff might happen, and it'd be great if that youth advisory group envisage things that we can't even talk about now. It's almost like we're the foundation, you know, the core group organisations of that foundation. But once that youth advisory group can establish, if there's enough airspace, that they can establish a vision and ideas that we can't even predict, that's with the young people, I'd say, and that's when it could get really exciting, couldn't it?
Yeah, it could. And the really great thing about place partnership money is that, unlike, for example, a project grant, which, you know, many of you here will have submitted a project grant and you have to submit chapter and verse and, you know, so much detail about exactly what you're going to deliver. We haven't had to do that because there is an acknowledgement that it would be wrong for us to sit here now and say and shape the detail without the input from young people. So there is time and there is flexibility in the budget for us to be able to respond. And if there are lines in the activity plan that we have suggested we'll deliver that we end up not delivering, but we do something else instead, I'm confident the Arts Council will see that as a good thing.
Yeah, I mean, that'd be if I'm signposting young people, I'll be saying you can shape something really big here. If you know, there's so many organisations on board, but it's about you guys, so you can shape that.
Yeah.
Then I think that's the attractive thing, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks, Celia.
It's
Okay.
really reassuring to know that there are experienced, sensible people like you all out there, you know, willing to play a little part in it or even a big part in it.
Yeah. I think built into little organisations big and small is the idea that you're always wanting to replace yourself, like you're always wanting to bring the next few people through. Because you know your roles are going to change over time, so it's absolutely like it's actually enjoyable to see, you know, bring people through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I'm not going to do this forever, I can tell you.
Okay, we're going to finish on time. Just to remind you that there is another session like this one, if you want any colleagues to join that, which will be at 7 o'clock on Monday, the 8th of September. So that's 7 o'clock on Monday, the 8th of September, which is Monday next week, isn't it? There's also the big meet taking place on the 18th of September at the lovely Art Gene in Barrow. I think we've got 71 people signed up for that so far. That's going to be looking at freelancing in general, but also looking at some of the Catalyst or the 3 Catalyst artists that have done that project for a year. But very much See It to Be It will be part of that conversation as well. In essence, everything that CACN does for the next couple of years will have a See It to Be It filter over it. So for example, the podcast I make over the next couple of years will have more young people involved. The Friday calls will have more young people involved, etc., etc. Once we've got our trainee producer on side, that will also influence what we do, and that youth advisory group as well, and the children's jury, that will also influence what the work we're doing if this goes well. So just a couple of things there to look ahead to. So next online session, 7 o'clock, Monday the 8th of September, and a big meet on the 18th if you fancy coming to either of those, or people that you might know. Kate, final thought from you, and then we'll wrap up.
If there's more that people want to discuss, offline, then please just get in touch with us, and we can continue the conversation. And if you want to apply for any of the producer roles, please don't be shy.
Great. Links going into chat as we speak. Thanks ever so much. Thank you, Kate. Thank you, everybody, for giving us an hour of your time this morning. Lovely to see you all. And maybe see some of you tomorrow morning for the first Friday call of the autumn.
Hey.
Cheerio.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Bye.